My 24M lesbian friend 25F suggested we go to the local nudist dive over the next nice weekend, and I'm just confused by it. Her 25F and I 24M are close friends and have been for a few years, but of course we're completely platonic because she's a lesbian, I'm straight. Yesterday, she suggested that we go visit this nude public watering hole that's not far from our city. I'm really confused because I'm not sure about it or why she'd want to go with me. I feel a little weird being naked around her, but it also sounds like fun. What do you make of this, and would you do it? Is it a big deal to be naked with friends of the opposite sex? I'm a little afraid that I may get a boner and it would make things awkward. Advice? Too long didn't read. My lesbian friend wants to go to a nudist watering hole with me, who is straight, and I don't know what to make of it. She just trusts you. Not that she wants to see you naked. She just thought you'd have fun too. If it sounds like fun, you should go. Contrary to what you may imagine, most nudist gatherings are generally not hot naked people. But it is a very freeing, positive vibe. I'd call it intoxicating positivity. Boners don't generally happen, because you're so afraid of getting one, you won't. At least that's what I'm told. I don't own a penis myself. But even if you did, nudists won't make it weird as long as you don't. Maybe she wants you there as a male buffer she feels safe with. You being there helps to keep any creepy guys away from her, and it's a new experience for you. Male buffer she feels safe with, that's my take on it too. Something she wants to explore but doesn't feel safe going alone with men around she doesn't know or trust. Lifetime nudist here. I wouldn't worry about getting an erection. I know this is going to sound crazy, but seeing people nude is not as sexual as you think. Truth be told, most of the people there are folks you would never want to see nude in the first place. Enjoyed the feeling of being textile free and have fun. Also, you don't see her sexually hot, do you? Don't think you'll get one. No, not really, but I'd be lying if I said she wasn't attractive or wouldn't look nice naked, so I probably would get a boner initially. My BF, 30M, has been unemployed for over a year. I want him to move out, but he won't look for a job. I'm 27F, and my boyfriend is 30M. He has no ambition whatsoever. He's really smart, skilled, and college educated, but it's like he's given up on life. He's had several bouts of unemployment, always because he quit his job. When he was unemployed he asked me for rent money, and at first, I reluctantly gave it to him because I didn't want to get evicted. I loaned him about $800 that he never paid back. Every time I asked if he was applying to jobs, he'd get upset and say he couldn't apply for jobs because he was too anxious, and that talking about it made it worse. So usually these bouts of unemployment would drag on, and he'd spend his time playing video games. He wouldn't contribute in terms of cooking, cleaning, or groceries. Meanwhile, I have always held 2 to 3 jobs at a time. It's so maddening that over the years, the romance has completely died. When COVID hit, we both lost our jobs and started collecting unemployment. In the meantime, I applied to grad school and got in. I had to move to a different city to attend. My boyfriend wanted to come with me. He insisted he can't afford to live on his own. So even though I privately thought he'd be a distraction and ultimately a detriment to my education, I let him move with me. His rent now is extremely low compared to what he was paying before. The problem is that I no longer want to live with him. He does nothing all day but play video games. It is so depressing to spend all day studying and working hard, then come home to someone who rarely even gets out of his chair. When I ask him how his day went, he only tells me about what his RPG character did that day. And he is a mooch. He doesn't cook, but he always eats what I cook, often without saying thank you. He doesn't own a car, so he drives mine, but he never puts gas in the tank. If I buy a box of Diet Coke, for the caffeine, I'm a student after all. He'll drink it all within a couple days. He won't do any chores unless I specifically ask him to. And when he goes grocery shopping, he gets mostly packaged food and chips/snacks. If I ask him to get real groceries, he charges me for them on Venmo. Finally, I just do not feel like he treats me the way I want to be treated. He is addicted to his phone/computer and I have to force him to pay attention to the real world. I literally can't remember a single date that we've been on. I frankly don't see a future with him because he puts zero effort into anything except video games. I feel more like his mom than anything, and I am not ready to be anyone's mom, especially a grown man's. A few months ago, I asked him to move out by the end of May, and he became extremely upset. He has tried multiple times to convince me that living apart is a bad idea. He claimed that no apartment will rent to him while he's on unemployment, not true, and that he can't get a job because he doesn't have a car. Then he asked me for rent money for a couple months. I told him no and he was obviously displeased. Then he said that he wants to stay on unemployment as long as possible, so he's not going to look for a job until September. I am so stressed out. I feel like he is exploiting me. I already helped him buy a car because I was so desperate to get him to leave so that I don't have to take care of him anymore. My worry is that he isn't going to move out. My friends told me not to search for apartments or jobs for him, since this is the type of thing I often do for him. He talks about how he moved here only for me, and how I am making his life difficult by asking him to move out. So here are my questions. Why won't he grow up? What is even going on? He used to be more independent, or at least that's how he portrayed himself when we met. Was it reasonable to give him 3 months notice to move out? What can I do to make sure he leaves on time, short of actually finding an apartment for him? I don't want to follow up on him. I think he relies on me for this service, and I am tired of it. I want to focus on my career and my own life now. Is he addicted to video games? Is there any hope that this will change? I'm a gamer too, so I understand spending your free time playing games, but he spends almost all day, every day in his chair. His doctor told him he is pre-diabetic and he still eats/drinks a ton of sugar and barely moves around. I am scared he will die. In the worst case scenario that he doesn't move out on time, how do I deal with it without blowing up at him? I am not trying to save the relationship. I'm just trying to save the friendship, and my sanity. Too long didn't read. I want my boyfriend to move out, but he has been unemployed for over a year. He is nice but he uses me as a safety net, and it's completely killed my feelings for him. I need advice, mostly on how to stay calm while I sort this out. I also welcome any insight as to why he is this way. 1. Honestly, because you've enabled him to be lazy plus a natural lack of ambition. 2. Yes, and don't just tell him to move out. You need to break up with him. 3. File a formal eviction. 4. Yes, he's probably an addict. You must be willing to help himself, you cannot fix him. 5. File a formal eviction. Of course he says moving out is a bad idea, because it would actually mean for him to have to get up, face the real world like an adult, and take responsibility for his life. There's nothing to save, neither love nor friendship. He doesn't love you, you're just conveniently taking care of him so he can be a lazy bum all day. Literally that's all it is. There's no respect from his side, no attempt to take responsibility and be a mature adult. Nothing. You need to get him out of your life, because you deserve so much better. And don't fall for it if he starts begging and crying for you to give him one more chance or telling you he will change. It's just a manipulation tactic so he can continue to not face being an adult. He's an addict and he needs help, but that's his responsibility to get it for himself. Buying him a car was already more than generous, and as you can see, nothing changed even though you tried so hard and sacrificed yourself for him. Evict him and stand your ground. Get support from friends or family, speak to your landlord, so you're not alone in this process, and also to ensure he won't try and manipulate you again. Hard truth, you are overcomplicating this. It's simple. Tell him you two are in different life lanes, dump him, and then serve him a formal notice if he refuses to leave. At least then you know you were giving him a chance to do the grown-up thing and leave on his own. Best thing you can do for him is to force him to grow up. Clearly his parents couldn't, so you're his parent now. Ditch the overgrown teenager. Adding to this, make it uncomfortable for him to live there and he's more likely to leave. Do these video games require internet like PlayStation? Change the password on the internet and any streaming services. He isn't applying for jobs, so he doesn't need internet. Same with phone. Give him a form to apply for a basic government phone and take him off your plan. Off he's in one. Get food that you like that he doesn't, and tell him to get out and work if he doesn't like it. This is a great time to give him the eviction notice. Since he's not contributing, he doesn't get to benefit from things you're paying for and or your emotional labor. Stop cooking for him, stop doing his laundry, etc. Cook for yourself and do your own laundry. No more services that he can use you for. He's a full-grown adult and you are not his mom. He can find his own job, his own room/apartment, his own food, clothes, etc. He's not your child. He's fully capable of taking care of himself no matter how much he may whine about it. You got this. He's just a roommate at this point and not a very good one. Focus on yourself and your own needs. I feel like he is exploiting me. That's because he is exploiting you. I'm just trying to save the friendship. That ship has sailed. He isn't your friend because friends don't leech off friends. He will inevitably resent you for the rest of his life for not providing the money and domestic labor he's decided you owe him, so he might as well start now. Dump him, remind him he's got to be gone by the end of May, and bring every conversation back to the subject of packing his things and getting out of your house. If he isn't budging towards end May, maybe get some friends round to help fill the car you bought him and wave him goodbye. Husband, 31M, iOS becoming very religious. How can I overcome this situation? Too long didn't read. Husband 31M, is becoming very religious. How can I overcome this situation? In 30 years, we have been together for 5 years and he recently started attending a Christian Orthodox church. He wasn't religious when we met or got married. Our wedding was not even a religious one. A few months ago he became very religious. He now goes to our bedroom every night and evening and prays for at least 1 hour, started to decorate our house with religious symbols, goes to church on Sundays for about 6 hours and donates them money. I recently attended church with him and I feel like I didn't fit in. The service was in Russian, women were covering their heads and the rituals were just very different to me. I feel like his religion is affecting our relationship. He has said things that I don't agree with, like the husband is above the wife and that the wife should submit according to his religion. He also mentioned that when we have kids maybe I should stay with them and homeschool them. He knows I worked very hard to get a degree, I'm about to graduate and that's never been our plan. We finally agreed that each of us will work and that I won't stay home because we can't live with only one salary. When I asked him if he is still sure that men are above women, he said that what he meant did that traditionally men were the head of the household. 2 weeks ago while we were doing oral sex, I wanted to make a joke and I asked him if that was a sin. He said that he didn't know. The next day he said that it is in fact a sin because it's an unnatural act. He was even thinking of asking the priest for advice about this matter, which I think is crazy. Last night, he wanted to have sex. I told him that I didn't want to if we could not do oral sex. We ended up arguing. I mentioned that we are very different and that I don't think our marriage is going to work. Was your husband raised Russian Orthodox? Is he of Russian heritage? Has he been getting more interested in or more opinionated about politics as well? I'm sure you're aware of the folks getting spun up into the QAnon hocus pocus and adjacent conspiracy theories. It's not uncommon for that to go hand in hand with religious enthusiasm. He is American and his family is Catholic but not very religious. He started to go to Orthodox church because according to him it is the original and first church and therefore is the best one. We also disagree about politics as he is Republicans and I'm not. He is against QAnon but believes in some conspiracy theories about COVID.